Good morning. My name is Lisa Bush, and I'm with Central Square, and I'd like to welcome everybody to the Report Designer webinar. Right now, you should be looking at my desktop. I wanted to let you know that I do have everybody on mute. If you do have questions, you can take yourself off mute. You can send me a chat, and at the very end, I'm going to stay on for questions and answers as well, or you can certainly call me or email me after the webinar. So I want to make sure everybody can see my screen, and we'll go ahead and get started. So I'm going to go ahead and bring up the first slide. Here's what we're going to cover today. I'm going to first give you an overview of the Report Designer. I'm going to give you an idea of what it is and how it works. And then we're going to actually go in and take a look at the Report Designer. We'll take a look at the navigation. We'll take a look at all the data fields that we keep with this tool. And we'll also go in and create a little report. And then we'll come back and I'll open it up for any questions that you have on anything that you've seen today. So once again, I'd like to welcome you, and let's take a look at the overview. First of all, let's talk about the purpose of this tool. It's a report creation tool. This tool allows you to create reports. It allows you to, take a report that you've created, copy it, and make changes. We also deliver it with some reports that you can modify. But primarily, I think you're going to use this tool to create your own reports or your own files. With this tool, we do give you access to all the different data fields. So when we go into, let's say, utility billing or payroll, all of those fields that you're used to seeing in the software, this tool is going to give you access to those, so you can literally drag and drop those fields to create a report, or maybe even just a file. Maybe somebody needs an Excel file that has, the employee, their email, what department, and maybe their vacation balance, or something as simple as that, that right now maybe in our system you'd have to go to a couple reports to get that, but you can very easily create this file and, or any type of file format. It also provides additional functionality. With this tool, you can actually create reports that allow you to drill down to the detail in the report. So you can easily do that today on our different inquiries in the software, but with this tool, you can actually have a report and then put a button on there so that you can drill down and get to the detail behind that. And we've created one, and I'll show you how that works as well. You can also do pretty complex reports. I'm going to do a real simple one today, but you can actually even combine reports to create another report. So, this tool I'll show you a couple reports that we've used that are pretty complex. It's kind of like Crystal Report Writer, so if you're used to a tool like that, this will be very familiar to you. So you can do complex or really simple ones. Right now, the way that we've got this set up is we have a report designer for the financials, and that covers all of those modules under the financial tab, like general ledger, accounts payable, payroll, even things like cash receipts, fixed assets, cash control. So some of those little smaller applications don't have a lot of reports, but this tool gives you access to those fields so you could create your own. Under the Report Designer for utility billing, it covers not only utility billing, but service orders, meter management, bank drafts, so all of those different subsystems that work with that. And we also have one now for property tax. And under the property tax one, it has obviously the property tax module, but also master directory and land management. There's a lot of fields there so that you can create those reports. So that's kind of an overview on what you're going to see today. And what I thought we would do next is jump into the product demonstration. And I'll go ahead and turn my camera off so it doesn't interfere with the software. So you've probably noticed on your asyst landing page a new icon, that purple one. That's where the report designer is. So you don't even have to leave the software in order to access the report designer. So let me get out of this, and I'm going to bring up that screen. So if you clicked on the purple button, this is the menu that it's going to display. So you're not having to leave asyst, it's part of your normal dashboard. So a couple of things that I want to show you first. One is we're going to deliver it with some reports. So, and the way we break it down is at the top of the list, you see your favorites. So you can make ones that we deliver it with your favorites, or you're probably going to do ones that you create so that your favorites go to the top of the list. Depending on which report designer you get, for instance, under financials, we're going to break it down by the product. So when you create an accounts payable report, it's going to be under there. Or you can see, you can even do it on AR, cash control, cash receipts, fixed assets, general ledger, payroll. So all of those little modules, even project accounting and purchase order. So that report designer for financials covers all of those products. We also have it obviously for utilities, and I don't have property tax loaded, but it would be the same thing. Now, on this navigation, a couple things you can do. One is you can search. You know, over time, you're going to build a lot of different reports, and you may want to search based on keywords. And if I want to find everything that has vendor in it, I can quickly search. So once again, so as you get those long lists, you can do that. One other thing I want to point out is depending on your permissions, as an example, if you don't have access to payroll, you're not going to be able to, you know, get to the payroll data. And with this product, you only have to get the one report designer for the group. Even though you've got multiple people in, let's say, utility billing, you would only get one license for the report designer, but those users that use that product could create their own reports. What I wanted to do first is show you an example of a couple of reports that we've created with this tool. The first one is this, it's a vendor report, and this is a report that we actually added the ability to drill down in the report. Now, when you do create your reports, you can do things like parameters, you know, date range, range of vendors, range of employees, so that you can filter your data. So on this particular one, I've got one set up, and I'm going to enter in the year, and then I'm going to pick some vendors. Okay, then I submit. Now, if you look at this report, a couple of things. One is you can even search the reports that you create. You can look for keywords. You can also, you know, obviously have different fonts. You can have your logo. So it's kind of like things you can do in Word. You can pretty up the reports that you create. Now, on this particular report, it's a vendor year-to-date report. And this little example here where I've got this icon where it says, show me detail, if you add this in the reports that you create, in this example, if I push that, I'm going to get the journal entry behind that. So the detail in the software, you're able to easily see. So on this example, I'm going to go ahead and close it. You can also, when you create your reports, you can create any type of file. And one thing that's different, these are going to be cleaner files versus the ones that you drop down in the asyst software because of the formatting. So they're going to be clean files, you know, Excel. They could be HTML files, like if you need to put something on your website. So that's true for all the reports. You're able to do different types of file formats. You can even do watermark in your reports. So that's one example. Here's an example where we use this tool and we're displaying the data graphically. You're going to see when we get into there, you can do charts and graphs with your data. Instead of numbers, in this example, it's a budget versus actual, and we're displaying the data graphically. And so here it is. Here's an example of, you know, by department, you know, year-to-date budget versus actual, so that, like I said, your council would like to see the data graphically versus just numbers. So once again, and once you create a report, it's on your dashboard. You can rerun it with different dates. So, you know, once you build it, it's going to stay there. And you can even set it up where you can't delete it, but maybe you want to copy it and do some other changes to the report. So there's a couple of reports. I also want to show you where we've taken the statement of revenues and expenditure, which is like a financial report, to show you that you can do pretty complicated reports with this tool. So we actually recreated that same report. So this might be one, maybe you want to modify it. Once again, year, I'm going to say all funds, and then I'm going to submit the report. Now the difference is, so this is that exact same report, and the difference is what we decided to do, the accounts that are over budget, we've got it highlighted in red. Somewhere down here. So there you go. That was just to give you an example of kind of what you can do. So this is one that we deliver with the software that you can modify, but it's a pretty complex report to create. So this tool's pretty powerful. And then the last one I want to show you is we actually use this tool to create a different utility bill format. So this is similar to the laser statement format that we have with charts and graphs. So let's go down here. We'll just take a quick look. Yeah. So like I said, this would be like you could, do your own, bill if you want to, change the way your utility bill looks. So this is an example that we use this tool. Now, let's take a look at how I think you're really going to use it, and that's creating your own reports. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to hit add. We're going to do a new one. I could copy one. The one thing you're going to do is you're going to give it a name, and it has to be a unique name. So if you try to name the same report, it's going to say, hey, that's already out there. So I'm going to say utility billing May 6th. So I know there's nothing out there. Give it a description, what's in it. You may have a lot of reports and you're like, what's in that report? Then you're going to pick which product. So depending on which report designers you have, your list of your products are going to show up. And I thought we would do one on utility billing. This will give you an idea of all the data fields that you're going to have access to. And then you can decide, well, how do you want to report? By the account, service information, transaction information. Let's look at the account. And I'll say, okay. And essentially what we're going to do is we're going to give you a blank screen. We're going to give you a canvas so that you can paint a picture. What type of report would you like? And so here's the blank canvas. One thing that you might want to do, well, the first thing I want to point out is on the right-hand side, you're going to see literally all of those fields that you've seen in the utility billing. You can expand on actions, on balances. So we'll look at those in a second, but the same is going to be true with payroll, with tax billing. So you've seen those fields, you know what you're storing there, so then you're going to be able to know what you might want in a report. So what I thought we would do first is if I wanted to, maybe put my logo here, it's as easy as uploading. Let's find out where that image is. And so you would have your city's logo. Now let's say City of Progresso. Over here, you might want to put like a name of the report. So I'm going to say utility billing, and it could be anything. But the meat and potatoes is the middle. What do you want in your report? So what I thought we would do is just come over here and let's take a look at some of the different options that we have here on that. Maybe I want a report that has, let's say, the account number. So I just drag it over here. Oh, not over there, down here. And let's bring this down here a little bit more. And I can make these boxes bigger. And let's say I also want to know, maybe the balance, the account number, what's the balance? And I can come down here and maybe I want to know things like, what class they're in. I have different classes. And I might even want to come down here and know something about consumption. So I'm going to have literally all these different fields that I can pick and choose. Let's see, here's one on monthly consumption. Maybe I want to know what the average daily consumption is. That could be a report. Now it's not going to be that pretty, but it could be a report. Now you may want to come over here and do a label, where you have, what does this mean? This is the account number. Um, put a label over here. This is the balance. Let's move this up a little bit. And then over here, class, and you can drag multiple fields, at the same time. And then the last thing I'll label and I'll put, this is average consumption, average daily. Okay, now a couple things that I might want to do. I might want to like bold it so I can bold things. So if I hit bold, I may not want to bold everything. I'll unbold that, 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 and that. Okay, so you play around, and if you want to take a look at it, I can do a print preview. Okay, what do I have here? So, I mean, that's simple, that I could create something like that just by picking the fields, putting the information. I can come back to the designer, maybe I want to move some fields around or add some additional fields, or maybe, I want a subtotal. I can add a subtotal down here by, maybe class or cycle, whatever class. So it'll group all my different types together, and then I can rerun it. So like I said, you're able to do really simple reports, but you can also do pretty complex reports. You saw the ones that I did on the statement of revenues and expenditures, and there's some standard controls over here. This is where you can get fancy. This is where, there's that option to add drill down in a report, or maybe you have a table within your report that you're linking it to other data. You can see here, you may want a barcode. Maybe you want to add a report where you barcode, you're using fixed assets so that you can scan things. So it can produce a barcode, charts and graphs. So the main thing with this tool is, we've given you something that you've got access to all of those different data fields. And if you look over here, and you can keep expanding, like, you've seen in utilities, all those different dollar amounts, billing history. I mean, you can keep expanding this information and just grabbing the fields that you want to see. What I thought I would also do is go in and we'll take a look at, all the different payroll options. So like I said, you can just grab the fields, drag them and drop them to do really simple things. If I wanted to do a file, I could, from this screen, I could create that file. Very easily. Once I save it, instead of running it, I could create a file. So let's go out of here and let's take a look just to give you an idea if you wanted to add a payroll report, what you would see. Now that's a unique name. Let's see here. And we'll come down here and we'll grab payroll. Here it is. And once again, you can go into your payroll calculations, or you probably want to pull out information on employees. That's where we've got a lot of information. And once again, like I said, you're going to have a blank screen, but I just wanted to show you once again how we've taken all those data fields and we're giving you access on deductions, benefits, pay types, gross and net, if you've got people on step and grades, detailed taxes, leave information, and then all those other, EEO, what department, statuses, where, you could very easily create that file or create the report. And the same is true in accounts payable, general ledger, property tax. Maybe you're using our service order module and I've only got a couple reports. You can very easily put together exactly what you want. So, like I said, that kind of gives you an idea of the tool. You can save them, you can have your favorites, but we're just giving you access to all the data fields that you have in your system so that you can create those reports that maybe we don't have. And we will deliver it with some reports. So what I thought I would do is open it up to, oh, here's a question. Here's a chat. It's the first question is to view this report, is it done through the report module or do you see these in the actual module? You're going to see those reports here in the report designer. So the nice thing is it is part of your dashboard, but it is here. They're not going to show up on your list in utility billing. Same thing for payroll and tax. You would come to this portal to run those reports. And like I said, I'll go ahead and I'll take everybody off mute, unmute all. And so if there are any questions from the group, or what I might do is I still might mute all, and then you can take yourself off mute if you do have questions, or you can send me a little chat. One thing on the price, in case you're wondering on the price, the way we bundle these are, like I said, I've got a report designer for financials, and it includes, if you go to the financials, pretty much all of these modules, that's going to be covered in the report designer financials. And that's $295 US, $495 Canada. But it's got payroll. And let's see, the other question is, so will everyone be able to view the report? Each computer will need to have a license. No. The good news is you would get one report designer license, but if they have a license for utilities, they'll be able to see those reports. So it's, and create them. So it's kind of like an unlimited license, but we also know based on your security what you can do. Okay, and then here's another question. I don't have a license for this. Was there a communication that I missed? What do I need to get a license? So this is a separate thing. If you do want to purchase it, you can send me an email and I can have your sales rep send you a quote. But we price it based on, like I said, there's one for the financials, there's one for utilities, which is also $295, but it does cover, you know, utilities and service order and meter management, all those products. And I know there's a lot of you guys in the utility world that have the new fancy meters, and you're starting to track more information on those meters. So, and then there's one for tax billing. Any other questions? And like I said, if you do want the sales rep to send you a quote, I can do that. We do offer a training class for this so that you can, you know, learn how to use it, you know, do some of the more complicated reports. Like I said, what I did, I just dragged and dropped, and that's pretty easy. But to really get down and create some fancier reports, you're probably going to want some training on that. There's a question, is that the rate for all modules? For the families, it's $295 US, $495 Canada for financials, and you just need one. And the same thing is true for utilities, and that covers all of those different subsystems, and then one for tax billing. And we just released that. I don't have that on my desktop, but it does give you access to land management, master directory, and property tax billing. Any other questions? And like I said, you can take yourself off mute to ask it, or you can send me a chat. And you can also, you've got my email and direct contact information, which I will bring that up as well if there are any questions as well.
Hello,
Oh, yes,
Lisa.
I hear the question. Is this Erica about the property tax and cemetery? There was a question on if the property tax includes cemetery. Right now it doesn't. It's only property tax, land management, master directory. And then there was a question on support. There is a little support. I want to say it's like $89, but that would be in your quote. And that's for updates, calling, support for that product. And then there was a question, is it, who was just took their self off mic?
Lisa Gregg.
Hey, Lisa.
Hi. How much is the training? Like, how much do you charge for training?
I think it's I want to say, I'm not exactly for sure how many, I think we bundle like 3 hours in that training, which covers, you know, from really simple ones to complex. But Lisa, are you with us Pipestone?
No, I'm with Souris Glenwood.
Source. I knew it was. I was going to say Source or Pipestone. Send me a quick email, and I can have that sales rep just send you a quote, which includes it all. So if you do want it, like I said, we recommend it. It's not mandatory, but to me, if you really want to get the power out of it, I would recommend that training to really do more than just drag and drop like I did.
Right, and that's the stage I'm at. I need
Okay,
some extra help. Um,
perfect.
so I will get on board with getting you an email sent.
Okay,
Um, I really like the report designer.
yay. Well, good.
It does provide you with the flexibility of, like you said, with one report, combining several reports from asyst.
Hmm.
So that's good. It is a good program. It's a matter of learning the intricacies of it. So
Exactly. But the drag and drop, you probably did that just right out of the box like I'm doing. It's like, okay, I want a file that has this information because you kind of know, and it kind of helps you go at your data. Like, well, what is this? So you could kind of see that field and maybe even start using some of these fields that maybe you're not using. It's a good way to look at your data, I think.
right, right, yeah. And I've
Perfect.
taken a look at your various reports that you guys have established already or created,
Hmm.
and you can learn a lot from those reports and integrate those various aspects into your own report.
Exactly. Because you can copy those.
Yeah,
'Cause I've
yeah,
always had people say, well, I want to have maybe two columns on that statement of revenue. I want to see dollar and percentage. So
right,
it gives you a chance to kind of get rid of things or add things, or maybe take that and have them show you how to do a chart and graph at the bottom or something like that as well.
right. So another question while we're just talking about the various reports. Is it possible to, I'll say, copy or maybe the word I should say is obtain a report from another user? So as you mentioned, the RM of Pipestone.
Hmm.
If they had a report already designed and up and running, and we liked the style of it,
Hmm.
can we have them move it into our assist program?
You probably could, with a little help from support, because they know I don't know how to do it, but I know that they've created things and have added it to my library. So that's probably, I would log a support call and maybe talk to Robin about, because I've had them do it and add it to me. So I'm sure there's a way to do it. And hey, what a great way, because if somebody's got a good one, and maybe in the future we have like a directory that you can look what other people have done, a way to
Right,
see those, like maybe
right.
a
It,
forum.
it just doesn't seem to make sense to
Right.
uh, recreate what they've already done.
Absolutely. Yeah, I would log a support call and say, hey, they've got it. Maybe get the three of you all on a three-way call to get it and then get it on your system.
Right, yeah, yeah, that was just an example. So,
Okay.
um,
Perfect.
but it is possible, so that's good.
Yes. Anybody else on the call want to, like I said, you can chat or you can take yourself off mute. Okay. Well, hopefully everybody is surviving this lockdown. I know I'm about to go crazy 8 weeks into it. So hopefully not too much longer. And the nice thing is at Central Square, the day before it happened, the whole company is completely remote. And I really don't think we kind of missed a step. It was, because a lot of our support staff has been remote, but the entire company. So unprecedented times for sure. Okay. Well, listen, thank you for your time. And I did record this. So if anybody wants a copy, I'd be happy to send it to you. But thank you so much and have a great day.